In the horrific Dwarka hit-and-run case, new CCTV footage, videos laying bare the entire sequence of events. India Today has accessed all of these visuals that show the Scorpio speeding recklessly down the road before crashing into the bike. The siblings trying to escape without a hint of remorse, and the crowd confronting the minor driver and his sister. Here's a detailed report that reconstructs this entire crash timeline.
An innocent, promising life cut short by reckless speed and shocking irresponsibility. An SUV racing down a narrow street, driven at a terrifying pace, driven by someone who should never have been behind the wheel. New videos have now surfaced in the Delhi hit-and-run horror. And when you piece them together, they reveal a chilling sequence of events. The first visual freezes the seconds before the tragedy strikes. CCTV images shows the Scorpio hurtling down the narrow road at a dangerously high speed. No attempt to slow down, no caution, no control. Then comes the impact. Captured allegedly while the minor's sister was making a reel. In a split second, the Scorpio smashes into the biker. Seconds later, passers-by rush in. A mobile video captures the aftermath. The biker Sahil lies in a pool of blood. His motorcycle is completely mangled. Other vehicles stand crushed. A crowd gathers, angry, stunned, unable to comprehend what just happened. But what shocks many even more is what happens next. The siblings attempt to flee by walking away. A lawyer at the scene tries to stop them. They continue walking. Speaking to India Today, Sahil's grieving mother says this was not the first time the juvenile had been involved in reckless driving and demanded accountability from his father as well.
One of the reasons why the accused driver has got bail and is appearing in the board exams, he's underage. He's only 17, 17 saal ke hain. Therefore, he may well get away with a much lighter punishment because he's a juvenile. How do you respond to that?
He is on the edge. He can't be called minor because multiple tracks are there against him. He does the same activity. He has multiple challans and everywhere his name is mentioned, his father's name is mentioned. So it can't be considered normal juvenile. This is not a normal case.
The accused's father, however, maintains that his son made a mistake and says he is sorry.
माँ के लिए भी मुझे दर्द है, मैं बिल्कुल समझ सकता हूँ, मुझे कोई इसमें नहीं है जो वो माँ है, मुझे अब उस दर्द को मैं कैसे बयां करूँ आपके सामने, पूरे फैमिली हम लोग बहुत ज़्यादा बहुत दिल से इस घटना के लिए मतलब बयां कर रहे हैं, शर्मिंदा है.
For Sahil's family, there's no apology that can undo this loss. No regret that can bring their son back. These videos tell their own story of speed without sense, privilege without responsibility, and a tragedy that could have been prevented. With Shreya Chatterjee and Anshul Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
What's extremely unfortunate here, viewers, is that road accidents such as this one, involving minors, juveniles behind the wheel, driving without a license, aren't isolated incidents. There's actually a troubling pattern to all of this. Let's take you through some of the most prominent cases that underline why underage driving is not just illegal, but it can be deadly. Starting with the recent hit-and-run horror in Delhi with the driver, a 17-year-old speeding in a Scorpio car. The result, 23-year-old Sahil lost his life. Then again, in Mumbai city, an incident, a tragedy unfolded earlier this month where a 17-year-old, this time behind the wheel of an SUV, crashed into a scooter. 33-year-old Dhrumil Patel died after battling for his life for 10 long days. His wife continues to remain critical. Going back to the month of September last year, in 2024 rather, in Ahmedabad, a 17-year-old driving a Mercedes is involved in a hit-and-run. 34-year-old security guard Vikram Singh is killed in this accident. Just months before that, an accident that shook the nation's conscience, where in Pune, a 17-year-old behind the wheel of a Porsche car rammed into a bike. Two young professionals, Anish and Ashwini, lost their lives. And then finally, an earlier case that brought national focus to the menace, really, of underage driving in the month of April 2016, many years ago, where a 17-year-old driving a Mercedes is involved in a hit-and-run. The 32-year-old Siddharth Sharma is killed. Different cities, different years, different vehicles, but the same pattern, the same story. A minor given the permission to drive a vehicle by his own parent. The tragedy of this, Anshul, is that the father here, at least in this case, Anshul, continues to in a way justify this, saying that, you know, my son was at fault, yes, but the biker was at fault also, completely ignoring the fact and refusing to answer these pertinent questions on why you would give a vehicle to somebody who's not even got the license. These are questions that the family has to answer and the law has to take note of it, isn't it?
Well, definitely. The larger question that looks to be looked into, or the larger point that needs to be deliberated into, is the manner in which the laws are made. The laws are such that juveniles, if at all they are involved in such incidents, it is very easy for them to get away. In fact, according to the Motor Vehicle Act as well, in such cases, if a juvenile is found driving and then eventually an accident happens, then the parent of the said accused juvenile would also have to face the punishment. But in this case, the punishment is just of 3 years, which makes this entire offense a bailable offense. And hence, the father, who was detained for more than 24 hours, eventually secured a bail in this entire matter as well. Apart from this, if we we took this question to the father of the accused as well, and over there as well, it was, in fact, he told us that he was not present over here in Delhi. He had gone to Gorakhpur for purposes of business, and it is at that point that the juvenile, in fact, took the keys of the vehicle and went to drop his sister, which was approximately 500 meters away from the residence, and then this entire incident has happened. So definitely, the manner in which this incident has happened yet again points towards the fact that how there needs to be changes in the law so that these small loopholes that are being exploited by lawyers, such small loopholes that are exploited by people who actually drive the juveniles who actually drive the vehicle in a very, very rash manner without driving license, that can be fixed, and that is something that is the need of the hour. As you rightly mentioned, over the past 2 to 3 years, there have been several cases of underage juvenile drivers being involved in accidents, and it is definitely, it has become a menace at this point in time. So yes, it remains to be seen if at all any sort of a stringent action would be taken from the side of the government when it comes to filling these loopholes that are in the law, which actually make sure that juveniles who are involved in such cases are allowed to scoot free without any strict punishment or strict action from the side, either from
That's
the
right.
police or from the side of the administration as well.
Anshul, I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. Getting in those details and tracking that big story for us is my colleague Anshul Singh, telling us about what the father had also said and how things need a complete rehaul, a relook in that sense. I'm also going to welcome Yogita Bhayana, activist on this broadcast, thanking you for your time. Vikram Singh, security expert and former IPS officer with us as well. Thank you, sir, for your time. Also, it's an important story we are focusing on, not just because one young life has been lost, because, sir, and Yogita, over the past few years, we've seen several such victims of accidents. The driver, mostly many times underage, behind wheels, gets away as far as the law is concerned. What's gone wrong here? Vikram Singh, in your opinion, what should the government do as far as underage driving is concerned Yes, there are laws, but the big question is about implementation and also tightening the existing laws, sir.
Very much. You answered your question yourself. Faithful implementation of the rule of law. And I would say applying just the Motor Vehicles Act is just not solving the issue. You should have invoked the provisions of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, section 105, culpable homicide not amounting to murder, which the punishment is 5 to 10 years, and the parental responsibility is fixed. And not only that, the negligent entrustment, criminal liability, civil lawsuits, and legal doctrine. There are any number of laws, but the lax implementation and the lax, for whatever reasons, no, I will tell you the exact reason. These people have deep pockets and they're able to manipulate the system to their own advantage. The father saying these are sanctimonious attitudes that I feel sorry. Your feeling sorry is just not adequate. And I, for one, would like to question, is it more important that the child writes the examination because he could have written the examination from behind the bars? We have ensured that. But the signal that is going that the police is pussyfooting on the investigation, having a cavalier attitude and an excessive sympathetic attitude towards the culprit and no sympathy for the victim. I would say that you should have ensured 105 BNS as also in not only that, if the Juvenile and the JJ Act gives you the provision that if the juvenile has the cognitive powers of the adult, he should be treated as an adult, and the JJ board should have been pursued to give the impression that he is actually, as far as the brain is concerned, he is an adult, and a fast track court should have dealt him as an adult criminal. And then you've got the run for your money, and the father's money power would not even able to buy his freedom. But I'm absolutely appalled.
Right. Appalling, absolutely. You know, Yogita Bhayana, that's what the mother has also said, that deep pockets, they're influential. There's a threat. They've been issuing me threats. At the end of the day, she's alone now. And this is a woman who's lost her child, a mother who's lost her only child. You know, each time we've spoken with her, she's only, she's only cried. It's heartbreaking to see that somebody had to struggle for so many days at a stretch to then get, let her voice get heard, isn't it, in this country, Yogita?
No amount of clarification to her, or even if this guy goes behind bar, nobody can bring her son back. Very unfortunate. We can't do anything to kind of reduce her pain, but what we can do is to do the justice and prevent furthermore accidents to happen. Unfortunately, here in our country, we don't have any preventive plans for accident victims.
Okay, we seem to have lost that line with Yogita. Apologize for that. I'll just come back to Yogita in a moment from now. I'll take my next question to Vikram Singh. Vikram Singh, here there is some argument that has been offered by a certain section, including the father of the accused here, also the sibling of the accused here. The very moment where this accident took place, we heard that from her, that, even he was speeding. He was in the wrong as well. But that doesn't really take away from the fact that you were speeding as well, as the CCTV cameras have captured. You weren't driving around the lanes too on your right lane. And also, if you weren't speeding, perhaps the accident wouldn't have been this grave. The situation wouldn't have been this bad. Vikram Singh.
These arguments are unconvincing and shameless, to say the least. Shameless, I would say. Your son is a serial offender and 13 challans in the NCR for overspeeding. Yes. And as many challans in Uttar Pradesh. And you seem to have a free ticket as if that you are a Frankenstein having a free run on the road. Are you living in some kind of a fool's paradise? I would say that this is absolutely unacceptable. A weak defense given by somebody who is oblivious of the sections of law, and these weak arguments that you give and try to put the blame on the other person and will increase, spoil your case and make you even more culpable towards stricter punishment.
But absolutely. Vikram Singh, first of all, what bothers me so much is that in this case, for example, this fellow was a habitual offender. This car had received several challans. In that case, should have there been not more spotlight on the movements of this particular underage driver? First of all, the fact that he was underage was only found out. I don't know whether the authorities knew about this earlier and then looked the other way. All of this is nothing but like a loophole, or several loopholes rather, in the system, isn't it? An underage driver, 30+ challans, but still he's driving on the streets of the national capital and killing people and justifying it at the end of the day.
This is an administrative tragedy of the worst kind, and we have such tall claims in respect of AI monitoring and AI coverage of criminality. We could have done much better. I'm disappointed yet again. Under these circumstances, the registration of this car should have been cancelled. the driving license of the person should have been cancelled, and indeed he should have been blacklisted for life, not to be given a driving license ever. But obviously, these people have been able to get their way through, and how, it is anybody's guess. It is a loud question, and I raised allegations. They could have done much better, both the RTO and the Delhi police. Why did it not happen? Well, perhaps I would say to withdraw the integrity certificates of those who were responsible for ensuring the implementation of the rule of law.
Yogita Bhayana, what sort of help should now be extended to the mother of Sahil? She lives alone now. She is alone. She's been talking about the fact that bringing up a son has been a journey, a challenge by itself. She's a single mother. She's reiterated that several times, that he is all that she had. At the end of the day, how should or what should the state do to offer some solace to her?
Solace, nobody can offer any solace
Yes.
other than the justice. But the money-wise, if I say the compensation is very much part of it, she will definitely get a compensation, because I've been working with accident victims. I know that she'll get a compensation. But as I said, what about the justice, and how about other preventable accidents? There is nothing has been done. Till now, after Nirbhaya, the black tinted glasses were not permitted. Till now, I have made videos. People are still driving those Scorpios and so-called, the goons. They drive with very much. Nobody stops them. What are the cops doing at the traffic signals? They only stop the vulnerable ones to just extract money. They will never stop the actual criminals. So that's really, and overspeeding, we see it every day overspeeding. But I don't know how they get away.
Yogita,
Nobody
I have
stopped
lost
them
count
after
of the number
30
of times I have actually made videos of violators on the streets. I have lost count. Yes.
But what about the ministry? Are they going to just build roads after roads after roads, or highways after highways, or are they going to do anything about the accidents also? Because this is very much part of the ministry. I mean, we need to prevent accidents. We don't need roads anymore. We need safer roads. We need safe environment. We just don't need to fly anywhere. We really need safe aviation. But unfortunately, we are talking about the road accidents. So we want to focus that we want to have ambulance I mean, for God's sake, 2 hours. Nobody picked this boy.
Yes.
I mean, what are we talking
true,
about as a society, as administration, as everybody is failing? I'm very unfortunate. And it is all preventable. People tell me when I work with rape victims, rapes can't be stopped. Every time they tell me that. But can you not talk about this? This definitely can be stopped.
There's not enough outrage. Vikram Singh, there's not enough outrage around this. This is the whole problem, that until the time the mother had not put out the video, this would have just been another statistic. Sahil would have just been another number in the records. At the end of the day, these are humans. These are people who've died. The irony of this is that just as we were reporting on this in Chhattisgarh, Vikram Singh, I want to tell our viewers as well, and we reported on that, a couple, a father and a mother, they killed themselves. They died by suicide because they lost their only child to a road accident. And they didn't know what to do. They were so depressed after that. I mean, there are consequences for people. There are real human life consequences once a life is ended in this fashion, isn't it, Vikram Singh?
My God, we talked of administrative tragedy, but this is a human tragedy. It will bleed anybody's heart. My heart goes to this boy's mother, Sahil's mother. My heart goes to the Chhattisgarh couple. But yes, we as a nation seem to have developed a thick skin that is impervious to all human sensitivity. And what a crying shame. Let it be that every human being who loses his life, actually, he dies before his time. The family is devastated. And there's so much that the society and the nation, the government should do. But in a scale of 1 to 10, we have not even come to the level of 1 out of 10. What a shame.
Vikram Singh, priorities of the government. Even as we speak about this accident in Delhi, Delhi is hosting the India AI Summit, using technology, using artificial intelligence to make our lives better, to make our roads safer. This is something you agree the government should be looking at on priority basis now?
Absolutely. The use of technology can be the game changers. And here what you find, it is good to have small number of laws that are faithfully implemented than to have large number of laws that are not implemented. Have technology, even the basic technology, but implement it for God's sake faithfully, not to look the other way merely because of the fact that the other person is not in a position to perhaps look after you. But the accused has deep pockets and he can buy the system out for himself. This again is something that is so degrading and so shameful.
The problem is with the ecosystem. Yogita Bhayana, your comments on this case, whether it is watertight in favor of Sahil after the videos that we put out for our viewers that show the sequence of events, the manner in which this accident took place. Clearly, the Scorpio was overspeeding because, to tell our viewers once again, it went and hit against a taxi and smashed that taxi also completely. Yogita, in terms of the, the merits of this case purely, talk to us about how watertight this case really is for Sahil.
It is super watertight, but unfortunately, because it is highlighted in media and social media, this might see light of the day. But all the cases which are also watertight won't get justice because they are not reported in media. No one takes them up. So thanks to you, first of all, taking this up. All the channels also are taking, and but we hope they will get justice. But as sir mentioned, deep pockets, I would rather tell sir, not even deep pockets, even frivolous money is good enough to buy the system. I mean, they just need money. You can just get away with a challan by 100 rupees. You don't have to offer 1,000 or
I
lakh.
agree.
I mean,
I
this
agree.
is very really sad part of our country. We are morally corrupt people. I mean, I'm counting myself because I don't want to put fingers there, because we as a society have failed the country rather.
Perhaps not even deep pockets. You rightly pointed out, Yogita, that maybe not even deep pockets, just frivolous money, small money, pocket change enough to buy out the system and ensure that you get away from something after doing something as criminal as this. This is a shocking case. The body of a young boy lay there for 2 hours. We're putting those videos out. It breaks my heart. Also, it's our responsibility to question the authorities, and also at the end of the day, as humans, hope that this should perhaps serve as maybe a wake-up call for authorities to do more as far as tightening the rules on the streets of the country, not just Delhi, across the country. There are several accidents that are reported and several violations. So things that can be prevented are not prevented. I'm going to thank you for joining in and sharing your views with us at this point in time. Well, after India today reconstructed the sequence of events leading to Sahil's murder, and we call it murder deliberately here, I spoke to his mother. Listen in to what she said.
Ma'am, it's me only who have said everything, so now people have to respond to it. I want people to respond to it. I want the society to respond to it. Since his father is giving unjustified statements since yesterday, which I have been hearing. So now I want people to come forward, the media, the system, the department, judiciary. Now I want everyone to respond on this.
I want to ask you, ma'am, this is an allegation that is made by the sister, in these images, as we can see in these images, where she says straight up, wo speed mein tha, when the locals confront her, saying that these were the people in that car. How do you respond to what she says, that the biker was also over speeding?
Yeah, somebody said this, some idiot said this. I want to ask the entire country, entire world, and especially as for the law of India, I would like to ask, when people drive on the road, I also drive myself, and it's been I think 20 years I'm driving my car. So I want to ask the people, when we are driving on the road and there is any vehicle that stops without any reason in front of our face, then how we should take the side, from the right or from the left? First of all, this is my question. Secondly, if that rich brat was not in his lane, then how could my child analyze that there is another vehicle in front of the bus, that too in our lane?
Okay.
How my child could have assumed this, that some idiot is driving in our lane, and even the moment I try to take right or I just try to get side, somebody will hit me.
It's a blind turn. At the end of the day, it was a blind sort of a spot, isn't it, ma'am?
Because of his wrong lane driving. It is not just overspeeding. This is wrong lane driving. He is driving in a lane. And the bus is such big. But bus has such height that no biker can assume that something is coming forward.
What bothers me, Makan, a little is also the fact, the manner in which they calmly, walk away is what is particularly disturbing for me. As a human, I wouldn't do that. And the kind of confrontation that breaks out the locals, them asking them questions, I don't see an effort being made for them to, help the person who's died. I mean, a second of or a word of remorse or, you know, from them is not something that I see or hear in these videos. Is particularly disturbing for all of us.
This is the real face. This is the real face of cold-blooded people, emotionless people we have around. Nothing much I have to say after this, nothing left. This video is self-sufficient evidence to get justice to my child.
We'll continue to get you more on that story that we are tracking very closely. Massive controversy has erupted over Galgotias University's robo-dog fiasco. It all started with the Noida-based varsity patting itself on the back, claiming it had developed and showcased a robotic dog. But the tables turned when Chinese media claimed the university was passing off their robo-dog as its own. The controversy led to a slugfest between the BJP and the Congress. Yes, ma'am.
A robo-dog at India's biggest AI event. A Chinese robo-dog allegedly passed off as its own by Galgotias University. This has led to a massive row erupting. It all started with the Noida-based university patting itself on the back, claiming that it had developed and showcased a robotic dog at the AI Impact Summit in Delhi. The video went viral online, trying to earn brownie points for the university as its work was lauded. But the tables turned when the Chinese media claimed that the university was passing off their robo-dog as their own. A furious government asked Galgotias to vacate the AI Summit premises immediately, even snapping power supply to the stall.
The government has asked Galgotias University to vacate its pavilion from this expo, and in the wake of these orders, Galgotias University's electricity connection has also been disconnected by the officials of India AI Summit, by the organizers of this summit.
The university, facing flack from all quarters, backtracked on its claims. It said that it had never cited that the robo-dog was an indigenous device.
मैं बता देती हूँ, मैं दोनों चीजें क्लैरिफाई कर देती हूँ। पहली बात तो जो आपकी रील है उसमें उसके फीचर्स बताए जा रहे हैं, उसमें क्लेमिंग ये वो कुछ नहीं कहा गया है। एक जो दूसरा बाइट है उसमें ये कहा गया है कि दिस हैज बीन प्रोक्योर्ड एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी द स्टूडेंट्स वुड डेवलप इन कोलैबोरेशन विद द सेंटर्स ऑफ एक्सीलेंस।
The controversy has further sparked a slugfest between the BJP and the Congress. LOP Rahul Gandhi took up the center of the controversy, calling the summit a disorganized PR spectacle. The government hit back at Rahul Gandhi and accused him of habitually slamming a hugely successful global AI summit.
सरकार खुद घोटाले में फंसे हुए है, खुद का कुछ कर नहीं पाता है। मेक इन इंडिया, स्किल इंडिया, स्टैंड अप इंडिया, स्टार्टअप इंडिया सब कुछ बोला है, कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट किया है।
12 साल नरेंद्र मोदी जी प्रधानमंत्री बनने के बाद इस 12 साल में जितने अच्छे काम किया है, कोई एक बताओ राहुल गांधी अच्छा किया बोल के बोले क्या?
The university is trying every bit to douse the fire, but the damage has been done. With the incident casting a shadow on the AI summit, will more action against the university follow? With Piyush Mishra at Delhi's Bharat Mandapam, Bureau Report, India Today.
News coming in at this point in time, Galgotias University has apologized amid the robo-dog controversy. Galgotias University has said in a statement, I'm going to read from that statement, we at Galgotias University wish to apologize profusely for the confusion created at the recent AI summit. One of our representatives manning the pavilion was ill-informed. She was not aware of the technical origins of the product and in her enthusiasm of being on camera, gave factually incorrect information, even though she was not authorized to speak to the press. We request your kind understanding as there was no institutional intent to misrepresent this innovation. Understanding the organizer's sentiment, we have vacated the premises. It's a big development and Piyush is getting in more on that story. Piyush, Galgotias University putting out that statement on social media, finally saying that, listen, we are sorry, we've been asked to get out, so we are getting out now. And this is something that was avoidable. That's what they're saying.
Well, that's right, Sneha. A statement has been issued by Galgotias University where they have now apologized for this communication, and they are now saying that the person who communicated with media was ill-informed. She was also not authorized to speak to media. She had no information about the technical origins of the product, which has now come into a huge controversy. After issuing this statement in the last, the Galgotias University has also mentioned that according to the instructions those were given by the government, they have now vacated the premises. We have also filed a report from the same pavilion where Galgotia had its stall. We have seen, Sneha, that the entire place has now been vacated by Galgotias. Galgotias University, all the officials of Galgotias University have now left that place. The entire pavilion has now been turned into a resting place for visitors. But a lot of controversy has taken place in the last 24 hours. You would remember that yesterday Galgotias University projected a Chinese-based robot dog as its own origin, and after that it faced a lot of flack there at social media, following which the government asked Galgotias University to remove their stall from the hall.
Well, they were defined one day, Piyush. In fact, what was most laughable here is the fact that there was a lie, and then to defend that particular lie, there were 100 other lies, and that was what was playing out since yesterday. The drama was playing out since yesterday. Even when they were asked to vacate, they said, no, listen, we are going for lunch. It's not like we're vacating. The lights, the electricity connection had to be cut off. Literally, they were pushed out.
Absolutely. Absolutely, the electricity connection had to be cut off there at the same pavilion where Galgotia had a stall. When we confronted them and asked about the government's decision of asking them to leave the pavilion, they were of the view that they have not been communicated by the government. Following which the officials here at Bharatiya Mandapam had to disconnect the electricity connection of that entire pavilion where Galgotias University had their stall, and after which we saw officials leaving from that place, and now they have issued a statement saying that they apologize for what happened in the last few hours. They are also saying that the person who communicated with media had no information and she was not authorized to speak to media. But it is also important to highlight that Ms. Sneha, who was talking to media, is the person from the communication department of Galgotias University. Now Galgotias University is coming out and putting all the blame on the same person. Certainly Galgotias University will have to explain as to why did they not inform their officials about the products which they were putting there for the exhibition. You would also remember, Sneha, that a couple of minutes back, Secretary of Ministry of Information Technology has also made it very clear that all exhibitors will have to showcase products only and only if they know about the details, or if that product if that product
at the end of the day, this has caused
So
international embarrassment, and that's why that diktat also really from the government at this point in time. Well, the lady on your screens is the communications officer, and now Galgotia says that she wasn't authorized to speak. Then who was is the big question. I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. Piyush getting us those details from Delhi's Bharat Mandapam at this point in time. Let's shift focus now. A major political tremor in the state of Assam, which is poll-bound. Former State Congress Chief Bhupen Bora is set to join the BJP, triggering sharp reactions, charges of Operation Lotus, and an all-out war of words between the Congress and Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. Yes, Mom.
Bhupen Bora, a political heavyweight in the Assam Congress, exits the party just ahead of assembly polls. A setback for the Congress? Seemingly not. At least that is what the party claims. Assam Congress Chief Gaurav Gogoi has accused Bora of surrendering to Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. Gogoi insists Bora's exit will not dent the party and maintain that the Congress will ultimately oust Himanta from power. Congress leaders allege that Operation Lotus has begun in Assam, accusing the BJP of attempting to disrupt and weaken the opposition.
जहां तक अब चुनाव नजदीक है तो ऑपरेशन लोटस शुरू हो गया और साम दाम दंड भेद करके पार्टियों को तोड़ना, ये तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी का शुरू से यही फितरत रहा है। और जो जा रहे हैं उनको मालूम नहीं है कि वहां असम में अब इस बार बीजेपी की सरकार ही नहीं बनेगी।
The BJP is calling Bora a big catch. After days of hectic political activity and failed efforts to placate him, the suspense ended when Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma confirmed that Bora will formally join the BJP on February 22nd. Himanta described the move as a homecoming and called Bora the last major Hindu leader in the Assam Congress, hinting that more leaders could follow.
He is the last recognized Hindu leader in the Congress party. So we are very happy to have him in our party. Our national president, Sri Nitin Nobin, has already approved his joining, and Bhupen Bora will be given all sort of respect, dignity, and will always respect his pacer.
Bora's crossover from Congress to BJP moved swiftly. On February 16 at around 8 a.m., Bora resigned from the Congress. That afternoon at 2 p.m., Gogoi met him in a last-ditch attempt to change his mind. By evening, Bora said he needed time. But on February 17 at 8 p.m., Himanta confirmed the switch. When asked about the exit, Bora says he quit over self-respect, citing leadership failures, confusion over rallies and infighting within the Congress.
Party were divided in 6 groups, and they will submit a report that how Congress will go ahead for the forthcoming Panchayat, for the forthcoming assembly. What will be the strategy of the party? Other 5 recommendations from other 5 tables under the leadership of other 5 senior leaders never discussed in the party till today.
With elections approaching, Assam's political battlefield is heating up, and this high-profile defection has only sharpened the fight between the Congress and the BJP. Bureau Report, India Today.
In other news, another city, another jilted lover, another cold-blooded murder. A man has murdered his 24-year-old live-in partner in Indore, and chilling details of the crime have now emerged, raising questions about how love becomes entitlement and rejection becomes a trigger for violence, and whether we are recognizing the red flags too late. Here's a report.
They say all is fair in love and war. But when love turns into control, when affection turns into obsession, who pays the price?
नहीं हुआ, छोड़ो, जो हो गया यार।
अरे कैसी बातें कर रहे हो? आपने मारा एक लड़की को, आपकी प्रेमिका थी वो, उसको
छोड़ दो ना, क्या करोगे जान के?
No remorse, no regret. In Indore, a 24-year-old woman has been murdered by the man she loved and trusted. He tied her, gagged her, and then strangled her. What's even more shocking is that the accused not only just killed her, but allegedly violated her body, consumed alcohol beside it, stabbed her in the stomach after she died. In a chilling turn, the police say he later searched online for ways to communicate with spirits and allegedly performed rituals to call her back.
10 तारीख को ये जो है मृतिका को अपने रूम पे ले गए थे द्वारकापुरी थाना क्षेत्र में। वहां पे इनकी 3:30-4 बजे कहासुनी हुई इसी चीज को लेके। इनका आपसी विवाद हुआ। तो उसके बाद लड़के ने जो है रस्सी से मृतिका को स्ट्रैंगुलेट कर दिया, और स्ट्रैंगुलेशन करने के बाद वो वहां पे बैठा रहा। उसने नशा भी किया। उसके बाद उसने डेड बॉडी से भी कुछ दुर्व्यवहार किया, और उसके बाद वो वहां से पनवेल चला गया था ट्रेन से।
The two had reportedly known each other for about a year and were in a relationship. The accused was reportedly insecure and frequently argued with her over marriage. Investigators believe the sequence of events reflects extreme violence and possible psychological instability. Despite the gravity of the crime, the accused allegedly showed no sign of remorse. He says what had to happen has happened.
अच्छा, वहाँ आपने तंत्र मंत्र किया था मुंबई में, पूछ बुलाया?
कुछ नहीं है मैंने।
दर्दनाक तरीके से मारा है तुमने उसको। हुआ अच्छी है, वो चली गई। कैसी बातें कर रहे हो कि कुछ नहीं हुआ? उसके माँ बाप ने उसको पाल पोस के बड़ा किया, आपने उसको जान से मार दिया और बोल रहे हो कि कुछ नहीं हुआ। तो पछतावा नहीं है? इस चीज का पछतावा नहीं है किसी की बच्ची को मारना?
अच्छे को सबको कारण बताऊंगा अच्छे से।
क्या बताएगा?
टाइम आएगा।
Police say after the murder, he used the victim's phone to send obscene videos to a group, allegedly in an attempt to malign a character and deflect suspicion. He later fled to Maharashtra, where he was arrested. A devastated father now seeks justice.
सख्त से सख्त इस पर कार्रवाई की जाए, डायरेक्ट इसको फांसी की सजा हो, ना कि उम्र कैद, क्योंकि उम्र कैद के बाद फिर वापस इसको कहीं ना कहीं फिर चांसेस होंगे अच्छी कड़ी से। हमारा तो वैसे मानना है कि यार भर चौराहे पे दिया जाए, लेकिन हमारे यहाँ का कानून लचीला है, वो ऐसा काम नहीं करता है, उसको डायरेक्ट फांसी दी जाए।
Another young life lost, another family shattered.
दूसरे जो लड़के हैं उनसे चेट करती थी, इसी बात को लेकर दोनों में विवाद हुआ था। और जो युवती, जो मृतक युवती थी, वो भी कहीं उससे शादी करने की बात आ रही थी कि वो उससे शादी कर रही थी। लेकिन इसके बाद दोनों में जो होता है, जो आरोपी है वो यहाँ आके शराब पीता है। ये 10 फरवरी की बात है जब युवती को जो आरोपी है वो यहाँ लेकर आया था, और ऊपर ये जो आप देख रहे हैं सेकंड फ्लोर पे, इसी में उसका रूम था।
This is not just another crime story. It's a warning. Possessiveness is not love, control is not care, and violence is never passion. With Dharmendra Kumar in Indore, Bureau Report, India Today.